So earlier, I watched Reginald the Vampire, Season 2, Episode 5, Undead Bedfellows. And let me just say, this was my favorite episode of the entire season. Boy, just the whole flow of the episode, the whole story progression of the episode, it was wonderful. So let me just say this. Um After last week's episode, they found out the way to kill Balestro is with an angel sword. So in this episode, Sarah went and asked Uriel or Slushy Guy for his sword to kill Balestro, and he refused at first. And then he went to Todd and told Todd how he feels a type of way towards Sarah, and he don't know how to express it. And Todd, my buddy Todd just told him, man, you want her, and I'll give you some advice. Just let me have the sword. But he wasn't all that. And Todd said, well, I'm a sucker for love. You know, I'm gonna give you that advice anyway. And the whole thing. I ain't even gonna get the little nitpicks and I ain't not the nitpicks, the little small details. They was talking about this vampire Justine. She's a vampire and a witch, and they concocted a whole plan to get her to summon Balestro in some kind of circle thing, or it had a pent what it called, one of the 5-pointed stars in it, and they were gonna trap him. But it turns out that she was one of the people. They got some new murders going on. She feeding upon humans, killing them, and leaving 666 on a dice on their bodies. And Maurice found that out, and he killed her. And they just sitting there like, really, Maurice? She agreed to help us summon and kill Balestro, and you just gonna kill her like that? And eventually, they got to a point where Uriel went to talk to Sarah, and he told her how he felt about her, and he would give her his sword. And I'm sitting there, oh Lord, Uriel, you gonna regret that because she ain't liking you. I mean, you can see the dumbfoundedness in her eyes. She don't like him. And then gave her the sword, and they done went to summon Balestro in this doggone circle with this pentagram, that's what it called, in it. And doggone, he just come, he appeared, but not in the circle, over there behind him. And he like, what y'all want? And Reginald and them talking about, what are you doing here? He man, like, y'all summon me. What you mean what I'm doing here? And doggone, Sarah went over there to kill Balestro with this sword Uriel done gave her. And doggone, he blowed his breath, and doggone turned the sword into a flying little babies. Like, he did some kind of magic. Oh, and let me just tell you this, because yes, they killed Justine, but she had her grimoire, and doggone Reginald learned some magic. I'm like saying to myself, Reginald, he already can compel other vampires. Now he learning magic. I'm like, what can't Reginald do? And after that, they went saying to themselves, uh, Reginald was talking about how he ran away from Sarah when things got hard, and he went on a trip with Maurice, and it popped to his head right there that he went and he met that half vampire, half angel, Abraham. And now he thinking that Abraham might be the only one who can help them kill Balestro. And I'm like saying to myself, okay, he got a point there. Don't get my brother Abraham killed, cause he was my favorite doggone character in season 1. Uh, but they went on. They said they going on a road trip to find Abraham in the next episode. Okay, I'm sitting here looking at that, and then it goes back to Slushy Guy slash Uriel. And he's sitting at the Slushy Shack, and doggone Todd, my boy Todd, come over there and brought him a Slushy. And he said, "Nah, I'm waiting on Sarah." And Todd, Todd gave his best doggone speech in the whole entire show, his best speech in the whole show. He was telling him how we all been through heartbreak, and you will find that special person, and and it will be magical for you, and all that. Uh, and Uriel, after Todd gave him that speech and left, Uriel got on his knees and went to praying, saying, "Balestro, please forgive me. The weapon I have gave them a weapon for your destruction." He not knowing that Balestro done already killed. I meant I already got rid of that weapon. Oh, he also said, "I have lost everything. I have lost the girl. I have lost my sword." And he said, "Balestro, please forgive me." He down on his knees praying, and Todd just over there looking. And I feel like this finna be Uriel villain arc right there. And let me get back to this whole scene when they tried to kill Balestro. Balestro gave a speech that I'm sitting there listening at. He gave this badass speech. It goes somewhere on the lines of I hold on, he said, I'm trying to think how he put it. "I gave you vampires a gift. I gave y'all the gift of knowing when your abomination, or not abomination, when your extinction is gonna be. But you couldn't take that," or some. He said some kind of lines like that. He said, "You still continue to not appreciate mortal life." He said, "All this time you could have been enjoying yourselves. When I gave you all this time," he said, "I gave you all this time to prepare for your downfall, your death, and you still couldn't do right." He said, "You continue to disappoint me." And then he told them something about they got 20 days left. This episode was phenomenal. I'm gonna say this. Out of doggone 10, I give this episode an 8 out of 10. And I actually can't wait to next week's episode. But yeah, an 8 out of 10. I loved it.